All right, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing y'all day, man. Um, by His mercies you are consumed. One we're alive, natural. One we're alive in His body. Most High in your house shall's body. For also two we're naturally alive. So by His mercies we are consumed, man. You know what it is too with that, man. But shoot, there's a lot of stuff I be want to talk to y'all about too, man. I was thinking, meditating on actual conversations, thoughts in my head. I was actually watching his brother son be a firstborn the other day. He said, "Listen, man, it's like stuff like no, man, that's what the word does, man. And honestly, that's why the Most High House that says what all your net ways acknowledge me, and man. So Proverbs 3:6, we're supposed to see him in every aspect of our lives, man. So and live it. Honestly, more importantly, be obedient and living towards something I had to more do, do more and and be more self-examine, know yourself, man. Because like the brother said, listen, self-examine is really self-examine yourself, man. Nobody else can do it for you but yourself, man. The Most High house shot, they can do it, but they can reveal things to you, man. Because they already know what's in there. Like the brother said, we first one said, they just want to see that you see it, man. That's where that John 13:7 comes in. But even though it's talking about his resurrection, but yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. Because I was about to say this too, even dealing with and I see this a lot too by going to that by His mercies we are consumed, man. Because working with children, man, over the past 9 years I have been, because in between that it's been 9 years in totality, but I worked in between different jobs till then, man. But I really started to realize that, man, because it's like how much they get on your nerves, man. But but it's like you still love them, man. So oh my gosh, man, I still love y'all though. But y'all like, oh my gosh, I wanna. But still be patient, long suffering, try to teach and instruct them. But still, it's just like, but see, that's the holy mirror. That's the reflection of how the Most High house I did deal with us, man. That's why I worry about His mercy will consume. But one, they do it for their namesake, because that's just who they are. Because they're gonna be them. The Most High house shot. They're gonna be gracious, long suffering, merciful, just. The righteous, they're gonna be like that regardless of what what's going on, man. Because you got certain people in your life that people in life that do that, man. Listen, if you there, I'm gonna do this. If you're not, certain when certain men, for brothers, man. So for certain man is one most importantly, the faith in Most High and the Son, the Most High house should come first in the life. But then driven by His purpose, man, He's gonna be on that regardless if a woman was there or not, or even for a sister, right? For a woman, if the woman was if she's like a wife from Terrell type of woman beforehand, this are her qualities, or if say this because it's kind of minor being wife, because now it's being it's high regard, but cooking and cleaning really that's the brother said assembly of firstborn, man. That he says that's the bare minimum, and that Proverbs 31 does that every day. If it's a Proverbs 31 woman, even if she is in the faith or she's not, or if it's that type of woman that she just likes to say this that's the bare minimum, cook and clean. Yeah, that's keeping the commandments spiritually. But say if she does that, comes to your house and cooks and cleans, and this doesn't really this just does that. That's the fact that she does that everywhere she goes. She just does that based off of that's just who she is. That's how she was trained up to be. It doesn't matter if she's married or not, with somebody or not. That's just who she is. They're gonna be like that regardless. So let me just say that too. But I said it to say it, man, because that's how the Most High house dealt with us because they did that for their namesake, because who they are, and also too they also too they keep their word, they're married, they're men of their word as well. They the covenant that they made, the promise that they made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, man, and our forefathers, man, they're gonna keep to that too. But also too, man, it's the fact that by His mercy you are consumed. How much is because man. That's why humility is so important, man. Listen, this is great. It's great being see Jacob being Israel, man, being Israel. But but you gotta realize there's certain humility we do have to have, because we've been habitual line steppers of the Most High, man. But yeah, man. I mean that's just is what it is. So I'm not sure. I'll talk about this. Yeah, I was going to talk about something else, but yeah, man. I was actually just having a conversation that doesn't have to. Nothing to do with going about to go into, man. But yeah, man, I was actually having a conversation with my brother, man. Actually, I was just thinking about this the other week, man. How things, man. It's kind of with the whole age, not getting the whole age thing and the whole you know what? that ties in perfectly. That ties in all praise to Most High House. I look at that because I was actually on the Discord app with brothers. We was talking about like King David's height, right? Like how tall is King David? And, and I was just like telling the brothers, man, listen, like it was actually no. Let's grab this, man, because this is crazy. Because I always have the assumption that like because even though like it's not really matters that are of too much importance, but listen, man, when you love the word like that, you're gonna go into different things like that because like I said, man, mastering the basics, man, master the faith, the fruits of the spirit, man, the being merciful, patient, long suffering, love, mastering that, like master love, loving your brother, loving your sister, loving the Most High house, being faithful, like keeping your word, patience, long suffering, being meek, being humble, all that stuff, man, mastering the basics. But also too, it's certain times like going into doctrine is cool, like things in nature. It's not really doctrine per se, but this is like certain times secular questions or things in nature. It's just like all kind of interesting. But I always said since we talk about this, I always said like, listen, I always think like Steph Curry had that kind of King David factor, his archetype. This is what he has done in the NBA was like sports in the sports world, in the sports sense. Like, he had the King David factor, a great warrior, but like nobody saw him coming. Because the thing about Steph Curry, right? Nobody saw like Steph. It's similar to Patrick Mahomes effect, right? I think that's a perfect comp for each other because nobody saw them coming. Like not only because they the short light skin dudes, whatever, but like they took the lead by storm and nobody, especially at their peak. Well, Mahomes is still at his peak, but especially Curry at his peak, like at 2015, 2016, like even the 2018, you could even say that, but he took a backseat once KD came, but. Like they took the lead by storm, even though I still say LeBron was still the best player, but even they took the lead. I mean, he took the lead by storm, man. And nobody seen him coming. And ironically enough, too, this is like that short guy, but a great. Ironically, here's the crazy thing about that. That's why I say he has that warrior factor. It's crazy because Steph Curry actually went to a college named Davidson and he played for the Warriors. So that just kind of see how things is like the Most High how I had this brain thing full circle. That's crazy, and he has that King David. He's King David-esque in that aspect. Not that he's because not that he's the man that David was. It's not not trying to say that compare him to David, but I'm just saying in the sports world, that's what David in the sports world, that's how David's story was kind of like. It was similar, man. It was like the great. A great warrior or great king that nobody saw coming. He was very kind of short because he was shorter in stature than the rest of his brothers. Like I was talking to brothers in Discord app. So, he was short in stature of them, man. So, and his rise of prominence was just so great, man. So, but also too, man, that's why people like sports too. I'm just using that example, man. That's why, that Hosea 10 and 12 and 10 and Nehemiah 8 and 8. That's why I use these examples so that's why people like sports worlds because it's akin to history. Even history, not only you can say in our history like the word, but shoot, that is just in history in general. Kingdoms come, kingdoms that fall. Then doesn't the word say how the kingdom will be transferred over to another? Actually 2 Samuel 3 and 1. And also too, the kingdom, this kingdom is gonna be transferred over to another kingdom. Second Esdras 6 and 9. But anyway, that's just neither here nor there. Kingdoms rise, kingdoms fall. But yeah, I always said that about a Steph Curry, it's kind of King David-esque, in that aspect. Not that he's righteous or faithful or the man David was. No, I'm not saying that. But the story, the line, if you looking on his background and his rise of prominence and David's kind of similar in that aspect. Just on a 2-dimensional perspective. But anyway, but I said that to say, man, because I was going into that. With the brother, and I was going into how, David was short of stature, he was pretty short. And I just said, how it was prophesied. I was just looking at this, how we were, kind of, even this generation of, you could say that for all the nations in general, but especially for us, but shoot, even all the nations will be short of stature. But you know what? Let me say this too, because a lot of times too, a lot of those Hamitic nations think that they're still tall, they're still look at the new bull types. He's a Hamitic. I'm not sure what yeah, but he's Hamitic though, like a new bull and all those Hamites and stuff like that. They still had that tall statures. Now you still have a lot of our people that are still that tall people. But I'm just saying it was prophesied that we were over time that we would because it actually talks about like was going into how like over time like we would decrease in stature and also age too, because I was talking about that with my brother and my dad and my brother over the weekend, man. And also too I say this all the time about, because it's so Americanized of how, but I'm gonna get into that later, of how like what we consider old is too, like it's more Americanized. But let's get the second Esdras 5:54 real quick. Cause my bad, y'all can go on tangents, but second Esdras 5:54. Consider thou therefore how thou art less of stature than those that were before you. So like I said to the brothers in Discord, that we're either as short of whereas just as the same height, or probably shorter than the time of even Ezra's right here, man, because we're probably short, man. Because I remember the brother Chronicles of Judah, like he did a series on his Patreon some years back on his the blue man is a so-called black man. Like, he covered Avatar. And I think the new Avatar, I watched the new Avatar trailer. The last one, came out. The last one, I saw the last one in theaters. It was really good. Ironically enough, like he said, the blue man's a black man. The character in there, like, in Avatar, his name is Jake. And, when he's the blue man is a so-called black man. So Jacob. So, like, of course Hollywood knows that stuff. But, I say that to say, man, but he was going into the brother in the video. He went into how, like, how we was taller in stature pretty much then. Because if you will ever see the Avatar, they're very tall, and that's how probably, like, I'm guessing, I speak as a man because we know nothing new is under the sun. But like what like was prophesied here, like our ancestors, things of that nature, they're probably like taller, bigger in stature than us. But also they compared to us, they were tall. But even there, because remember, but compared to other nations, they were short. Because remember what did the evil spies say? The spies say they gave a wicked report. They said, listen, we're like grasshoppers compared to those Philistines, to those Canaanites and the other nations. Like, we're like grasshoppers, man. So, like, but that's this is what it is too. But let me read this again. It says, what was that, number 13 when he said that? Consider that therefore thou art less in stature than those that were before you. So yeah, man. So also too, it was prophesied that we would get grow less in stature. Also too, we would even die younger, man. But because a lot of times we say, oh, it's right, all the time it's westernized and Americanized, and a lot of times too, it's just our people, man. Like, we kind of we're really the only not the only, but we're the really most heavy key nation of people does that, man. Because a lot of times too, like, look at the other nations too. They have most regard for elders, man. They for that elderly people, man. So and old is not. This is more of a, I don't know. It's more of a westernized thing, but let's get this too. Because let me grab this too. Psalm chapter 90 verse 10. The days of our years are 60 and 10, and by reason of strength they are 80 years. So yet they are strength and labor and sorrow is soon cut off, and we fly away. So yeah, man. So that's 80. What? That's 80, man. So, like, it says, listen, our days are 60 and sometimes 70, and if reason of strength, they be 80 years. So that's 80, man. And yet it is strength and labor and sorrow for labor and sorrow for soon is cut off and we fly away. So yeah, and that's kind of lines up with James. Life is as a vapor, it passes away. Also, Psalms and Peter says life is as grass, I believe. Yeah, man. But no, man. But I say that to say, because I'm about to go into some scriptures, man. Like, a lot of times too, like I said, like I mentioned, let's get this in Acts, man, in Genesis real quick, man, because all that 40 and stuff like that, all that stuff is not old, man. Like, all that stuff is just westernized, modernized, man. Because, like, Moses was just figuring out, like, because I was talking about my pop, man. Like, my brother, he's like, because my brother traveled the world. He said, listen, man, when I go overseas, man, no, the mentality and the spirit behind the mentality of what's old there is not the same here, man. Because, like, he dances, and also he's just an artist. He dances, he does martial arts, man. He does, like, capoeira, he does Muay Thai and other things, like, he's very talented, man. And he just turned 30. Like, he's not even old. So, but we saw. I was talking about that with my dad. Like, my brother, when I was helping my sister move. I was like, yeah, dad. Like, people even call me like, OG. I'm like, man, y'all know how old I am. I'm not that old. Even like, my brother, like the students last year at the school he's working at, they call him Unc. I mean, but it's good though. I mean, I don't mind it, man, because it's more of a like in the like a spiritual father type thing, or a spiritual like just older, like having that respect of an older person, and, like because some of it's there, but a lot of times too with for a majority of those is Isaiah 3:12, but 3:2. I mean 3 and Isaiah 3 when it says the ancient shall be proud against the young shall be proud against the ancient, but but there are some young brothers out here, your young brothers and sisters out here, young people out here that still do respect, people that are older than them, even the elders, man. Because I'm damn sure not elder, not even the word or just in general, but all that stuff too. But I'm about to go on a tangent about something else, man. But yeah, man, that's just is what it is, man. But he said, but like my brother said, he said, listen, man, the mentality in there is like what's old is like so like different, man. It's not even like the same. It's like, let's get this Acts real quick, man. Because Moses, what you call him? He said he was just figuring out life at 40 years old. He was just, Acts chapter 7 and verse 23, and this is talking about Moses, and he was 40 years old, and it came to his heart to visit his brethren and his brethren, the children of Israel. So yeah, man, Moses was 40 when he is like, when his journey was just starting, man. So like, so yeah, man. Yeah, man, he just started figuring things out, man. His faith just started at 40, man, because he's because the faith was more in the womb. Like Moses was destined to be what he is from the womb, but that's where that Hebrews 11 comes in. He left the riches and things, and it's similar to Yahushua left the riches and stuff like that, and the kingdom of Egyptians to suffer with his people, but then he's gonna get glorified on the other side, like but yeah, man, let's go to Genesis real quick, man. Genesis chapter 25 and verse 20, he says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah the wife, and the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian, of Padan Aram, and the sister to Laban the Syrian. So yeah, man, that's just what it is too, man. So it was just like, he was just leaving his household, like things of that nature, but he's still obedient to his father. Of course, Isaac and being to Abraham and things of that nature. But he's just 40. He's just getting started in his life, man. So that's not old, man. Like compared to like how our ancestors lived, man. Like that days days are not that old, man. Honestly, because I'm about to get into it. I'm about to get into a few ones, man. Because as I'm going to get into, Moses died at 120. Joshua died at but let's look at this, man. Let's go to Job 42 real quick, man, because I was looking at this the other week. Job chapter 42 and verse 16, he says, after this Job was 140 and saw his sons and even 4 generations. So yeah, man. So Job lived to 140, man. And like, and let's get to Moses, man. Because Moses died at 120, man. So Job really lived to 140 years old, man. That's like us in the wilderness plus 100 years. Because we was there for 40 years. So we know Joseph died at 110 years old, man. Yeah, man. So we consider old, man. It's not old at all, man. Like, that's just not, it's crazy. I talked about them too. I had the second Edges in 5 and Psalm 90. I had them written down. I just started with those. But it's crazy how that goes full circle. I was supposed to talk about that today because I was just talking about that with brothers in Discord app. So all praise the Most High. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 34 and verse 7, it says, and Moses was 120 years old, and when he died, his eyes was not dim. Yeah, exactly. So he could still, like, yeah, Moses was still, like, what did Caleb say? He was 80. Caleb was 80. Says still, man, I still had the same strength as I did when I was younger, man. So yeah, man, we still age good, but no, we even aged better back then, like, So and when Moses but it's prophesied, said our days will go shorter. But and Moses was 120 years old, and when he died, his eye was not dim, and nor his natural force abated. So yeah, man, and that's the thing too, man. Like, we live the age, man. Like, that's like I was talking about that with my brother. He said, "Listen, man, if we go overseas, man, they martial arts, those Asians, man, they still compete, man. That old man, sure, he said, listen, they want you to think that they can't fight, but man, they walk all slow, stuff like that. But we see a lot of times too with the my bad, y'all, with the you see a lot of times in real life in movies and in like anime things that nature with those even karate flicks, man. Where like you see like those those old dudes things that nature where they want you to think they can fight, but once you think like once you start seeing like no they can still go with guys like around my age or younger, man. Like that's what that is, because what it is. I was talking about this with my brother too, like even like in the sports world, right? A lot of times too, like athletes, they have their best years in their like 30s years. Like, that's the role. Physically, like LeBron's, like say like LeBron or Jordan, things of that nature, man. Like, they're because like Jordan, it was like the 80s and the 80s and the 80s and the early 90s. That was his physical prime, right? Like, but once you hit the second three-peat, like, his latter, his mid 30s, that was probably some people say his best, but, but that was his mental peak, man. That was his mental, that was his mental problem. Even like say a LeBron example, or shoot, even Brady as well. But I'm trying to think of either or, man. But like LeBron, honestly, me personally, my favorite is like his first go around with Cleveland. Like but his best was like actually at Miami. Just his best as a complete player, but even like when he went back to Cleveland, right, the second time, like 2015 or up, he was in his mental prime to get things slowed down. He understands things. Even it's akin to the same thing in life. Like life start. That's why they said, listen, like men usually don't hit their peak to like shoot. We see it in the word. Like Moses, like around 35 or 40, because things start to slow down. You start to understand things. So But that just goes into power the most high in your house, because listen, like what the wisdom of Solomon said, what did Solomon say? Listen, sometimes the Most High might give somebody that's way younger than you more wisdom, more understanding. Like they might not have the experience as you, but they had this more understanding, because wasn't Joseph was younger than all his brothers, like and shoot, he did that. He had Daniel had this Holy Spirit young, man. He had much knowledge and wisdom, understanding, and was very faithful at a young age. Shoot, Yahweh Shah in the temple, Samuel. So it's like, yeah, that just goes in the power of the Most High Yahweh Shah too. Let's get this wisdom Psalm 8 and 10. But yeah, man, let me grab a wisdom Psalm 8 and 10. Then wisdom Psalm 8 and 10. For her sake, I shall have estimation among the multitude and honor with the elders, though I be young. So yeah, man. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's the power of the Most High Yahweh, man. Because a lot of times too, you got certain people that don't think that. Yeah, man. Like yeah, that's just crazy, man. Even Timothy was young. Like hey, but it is what it is, man. Shoot, let's go to Joshua real quick, man. I was about to say something about that, but yeah, like LeBron, he's in his mental prime, like Brady, man, like his latter career, he is in his mental prime, man. It's just that just happens, man. But yeah, I said to say, oh yeah, but that's a topic for another. Well, that's something I'm about to touch on too, because I want to slightly touch on that. Let's get Joshua chapter 24 and 29. And it came to pass that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. So yeah, Joshua and Joseph died with at 110 years old. Man, it's crazy, because they're Joshua's from the tribe of Ephraim, and like Ephraim was once Joseph's son. So that's just kind of, I always find out crazy, but so he comes from that line. So him, and he's the most noble prophet that comes from that line, in the word. So he died same way. He died the same as a patriarch or that tribe died. So that's just crazy. But anyway, let's grab this too, cause I want to cause yeah, man, let me grab this too. Don't let me grab this, cause I was watching a clip of Tank Davis, and like he was, I think what's the other boxer's name, man? They call him like a social media personality. Well, he's not, but they said like, listen, that's kind of what he looks like. It was like, I've seen a what you call him clip of that, or reel that on Gervonta Tank Davis and and Bernard Hopkins was on stage with him. It was like about to be like a little face off, but not with him and Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins touched him, like and Gervonta Tank Davis, like he was a little, but no, he had every right to say that though. Like he wasn't wrong. He said, listen, don't put your hands on me, don't put your effing hands on me, things of that nature. You could have. It is what it is. Then Bernard Hopkins said it, but but he kind of started talking a little. But he said this in the post clip after being asked about afterwards. He said, "Listen, man, yeah, man." He said, "Listen, man, you old things that nature, like let the young guys have that time." And many people in the comment section like, "Man, that's the dumbest thing, man." Because like, shout out to Doggy Diamonds too, man. Like because he said that even for one time. I used to watch his podcast a lot, and his YouTube. I still do watch his No Filter podcast or his channel. He said, "Listen, man, you live to age. Like, what do you mean you're old? Like, we live to age, and the word says that, man." So yeah, man, I was just like looking. I was like, yeah, man. Like a lot of people, he said, yeah, man, let the young guys have it, man. Like and I say this too, man. A lot of times these young dudes, man, you don't like this on a basic tip, man. Don't be like don't be messing with these older dudes, man. Cause like, listen, man, it's different. Cause they generation, they were really like, as they say, outside. They were really outside. They had to be physical. They wasn't on their phones, like had all this technology on the games all the time, things of that nature. They were really physical. That's why a lot of them can still fight, man. Cause like they could because most of the time, like I remember seeing a young clip, man. Older brother, older Jake, man. He younger Jake was being disrespectful to him, whatever. I didn't see it. Just skipped to the part when they were fighting, man, because he said he gave him gloves. He said, "Listen, man," and he knocked the young boy out. Young boy has this slang in Philly, like for a young dude per se, young person per se, man. Somebody young, because just like they say, jet and in the South, man, that's like our version of Jit, pretty much, young boys. But I think it's kind of getting spread across too. But yeah, man, I remember seeing that clip a while ago, man. Is older Jake, man, he knocked him out, man. He said cause yeah, man, he was being disrespectful. He said, "All right, man, put on the gloves," and he still could like listen, man. So don't be trying. That's just me. This word so wise, man. Don't be trying to think because some of these these brothers are older, like could try it, man. Cause yeah, man. And also too, don't fret too, because with that too, because a lot of times just laughing about. I was thinking about the Cat Williams got choked out by the 7th grader. That was kind of funny, but but sometimes too, like a lot of times, like when you get older too, some certain movies, that's why they still can fight, but they prefer not to, man, because they can't move like they used to. But some of them actually can, man. So that's what I'm saying. It's a balance thing to it, but I'm just saying I'm not advocating just like when something happens, like just to fight all the time. Because listen, that's what the world we're supposed to reason together, talk things out. Like but if it comes to that, then hey. But I'm making a point that since I mentioned this Bernard Hopkins and Gervonta Tank Davis situation, man, because when I seen that, some people even said, listen, man, he said, listen, Tank better be careful, man. Like Bernard Hopkins has that that old man strength, man. I was cracking up, but it was funny. But yeah, man, it's true, man. But I said it to say, man, our people had that mentality. It's crazy because just an aside, I was watching the game yesterday, man. I think Tank Davis from Baltimore and Bernard Hopkins, of course, from Philly, and the Eagles and Ravens, they played yesterday. That's just kind of crazy now that happened, but I was just that came to mind. But no, man, I'm just saying that that yeah, man, a lot of our people, especially men around my age and things of that nature, man. That's what Sirach 32 and Yahushua is parable and Proverbs 25 goes into. If you're amongst great men, play the backseat, humble yourself, man. And let your words be few, man, because that's just is what it is too, man. Yeah, man, that's just is what it is too, man. And the shoot, isn't even our law, and even Timothy, honor, don't read your elder, treat him as a father. There's a certain, even if you in the word, you out the word, man. It's a certain way you should conduct yourself around an older man, older, even for older people, man. There's a certain way you should conduct yourself, certain level of respect you should have. Now we get it though, but we get it though. Like Job 32:8 says, like Sirach, Wisdom of Solomon says, listen, the age is always wise. But, even this time and season do it, but it says rebuke not to, it says, rebuke, First Timothy says, listen, rebuke not an elder, but treat him as a father. There's a certain way, if you are going to correct the person, a certain respectful way to do it, certain protocols to do it, man. It's a certain way that you go about it, too. But also, too, it's like Sirach says, don't be afraid to inform the, no, I'll just grab it, man. Because sometimes you might have to do it, but just all in a respectful manner. Don't sit there and curse a man that's like 20, 30 years older than you out. Certain level of respect you have to have. But let me grab this too. Be not ashamed to, here it is. Ecclesiastes, also in Sirach, chapter 42 and verse 8. It says, be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish in the extreme age that contendeth to those that are young. See, like that's what same thing First Timothy 4:12 goes into. But thus thou shalt be truly learned and approved of all men living. So yeah, man, don't be that, because a lot of times too it's a balanced thing, right? Because let me say this too, because like the Tank Davis thing I just mentioned, right? But also too, you have a lot of older people that just like one day got realized, okay, it's like y'all generation, y'all did drop the ball on a lot of things, so you can't only be mad at this current generation but so much. But a lot of times too, like you got older people that's in competition with the younger generation too. We see that a lot of times with women. I see that a lot. I seen the clip of Lisa Ray still. I ain't even want to go into what she was doing on that clip, but this is like, wow, you still like it's just really sad. But also too, man, it's a thing too. With you have a lot of tools are elderly people, elders, or even elderly people that try to compete or like have something against the younger people, man. And that's not the case, man. Because I remember watching the Math Hoffa clip with Method Man, man. He talked about he brought Melly Mel, man. He said, listen, man. He said, man. He said, every time, man, on his podcast, he said, listen, man, every time, man, I see Melly Mel, man, he just, he just gave me, he just shunned me every time, man. He said, no, man. He said, listen, man, you paid the way for us, man. Man, you got people that love you, man. We came up on you, man. Without you, there'd be no us, man. But, Melly Mel, he has a in the rap world, I'm saying this in the rap, hip-hop world, he has a reputation of doing that, kind of things kind of dismissing things that came after him. And that's what Method Man said. He said any rap that came after him, he just shunned it, But I get it in his perspective, because listen, certain times, certain people they had, those certain older people, whatever field that they're in, they don't get the credit, they don't get the recognition, credit that they're overlooked by other people, but they don't get the credit and recognition that they feel like they deserve, being the forefather of certain things or being laying the foundation. So it's understandable, but you can't have that bitterness. But also too, man, even said too, I always say, man, as men, honestly, man, you should empower the next generation to be better than you, because that's what Yahushua did. Then Yahushua say what? Greater things you'll do than me, because that's as a man, you always empower the next generation of men under you to be better than you. Even too, that's even for men and women. Even sisters should do it. Even women should should do it. But women, that's more understandable, because women, they're just there's more. I haven't seen that a lot of times. I only see it a few times with women, because one, they're not the head, they're not the leader. So, but that's where that. But also too, that Titus does come into play for age women to give younger women good advice, things of that nature. But that dynamic is different with older women, younger women. But even I've seen this in my lifetime. Even if it's not a man with a bunch of skill or understanding, he'll try to. Even they happen in my lifetime. It's a lot of OGs, or even not the most. Not the most even wisest elderly man gave me, but he would give me some type of jewel. So they always want to empower the next group of men to be better, man. So that's the balance of that, man. But I forgot what I was even saying. But yeah, man, that just is what it is too, man. That's just you always want to do that. You always want to do that. Yeah, it's just a bounce to that because with our people, because you have certain like and that's where that generational warfare has to stop, man, because it's so circular, man. Because it's just like the gender war and the like, even talking about different nations and the race thing. Sometimes it has certain things have that credence, but it's circular talk though. But the word gives the foundation, man. So you know, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier too. Like when I was talking about the older people, but that's why I said that too, because everything's like a holy mirror, is a reflection. Because a lot of times older people too get upset, like about the younger generation, how they don't listen, how they don't respect things. But shoot, how are you to to Most High House, to your God? Because shoot, they the ancient days. You a child? What didn't what? Shoot, we're children. And didn't Jeremiah say, "Listen, I'm a child to you"? Like didn't he say? I think he said to Abraham, like, "You're a child to me. Like even no matter how old you are, you're a child to me, man." And these are men that live hundreds and hundreds of years. That's Alpha and Omega. They're the ancient of days, man. So then the Most High House, I say, Isaiah, seek me in your older age, because like I'll always remember this. I always never forget this, man. I was talking downtown with the brothers, preaching the word, or whatever. It was this one sister. I was like, "Oh, sister, come here, hear the word." She said she was kind of a little proud, whatever. Yeah, I wasn't too. I was like, "All right, cool." She was like, I'm sorry. She said, "Oh, it's just no, it's just listen." She said, "I know, I'm okay." So I'm like, "Listen, man, it's just hold on, y'all." It's just the fact that too. That's just a reflection of you too. Like it's everything's a reflection. Like because got a lot of our brothers that whether in the world out the world complain and stuff like that, or they even has credence or talk about or complain about the women. But like, how are we to the Most High house shot? Or like got women like about their children, disobedient children. Like how are you to your man, and how are you to the Most High? And more importantly, too, the Most High house shot and your man, because you're supposed to look at your man. No, it doesn't even have to be married or a man. Serve. Well, I would say this in marriage as in regards, but or just how you interact with men. In general, you're supposed to serve them as unto the Lord, but also too, and be obedient to them as you would the Lord. But also too, even older people, man. Like when they complain about the younger generation, it's like okay, it's a lot of credence and truth to what you're saying, but how are you uh, listening to the Most High House? I make is like, listen, man. He says, listen, seek me in your old age. So this because I get it, they because from that aspect, because like when you reach the older people, they lived a lot of life, so they don't think like because even when we try hitting off with the word, they didn't know, because like a lot of people like I made this mistake coming in too, like even brothers that said this before me too, because like when I first came in, like you tell you I like kind of came in the conventional way, like came in as in like yo listen, we the people of the book, we're the Israelites, things of that nature. And now I tell a lot of older people around me, or people that's not even elderly, but older people around me, they know because they lived alone, so they heard it a lot of times too. But so that's the thing too. So I get it, like a lot of times too, like they live a bunch of life, but listen, like, but knowledge of the world is foolishness to the Most High. But those times they had knowledge of the world. Now, do they have different like biblical principles? Yes, because some, but they were in Christianity, Jehovah's Witness. There's some that had little biblical principles in, but a lot of times too, they don't have the knowledge of the truth. They don't have knowledge of the gospel of the Most High House shot and his instruction, man, and the faith in the Most High House shot, like the proper faith in the Most High House shot, man. So that's just is what it is, man. So, but you gotta think about, but too, you gotta look from their perspective. Here comes this younger person trying to tell me this, and so of course, but you gotta realize it. That's gonna happen, man. But it's all a reflection of things, man. But let me go back to the point, because I am the king of digressing, man, and being loquacious. Cause yeah, man, yeah. Let me grab this too. Approaching 9. What's that? Approaching 9, man. Let me grab this. Where's that at? Oh yeah. This approach 9 man his old age. Oh my gosh. Alright, I cannot. This should be somewhere. It's in here, it's alright, I know. Is it 25? Because you lived the age, that's the point I was going to make. No, it's just not, I can't find it. Oh, he killed me. Hold on, y'all. Alright, it is what it is. This is Sarai approaching our old man in his old age, man. You live the age, man. That's it, man, because I kind of went over time, man. But hopefully it's edifying, man, so peace.